Let's start off with Carson. You deemed it minor knee surgery, but how have things come along? Where's he at right now?
Carson's doing really well. He's been on course to really to be ready to roll by June, and he's on track to do that. We were really cautious with him in the spring, following his doctor's advice. He still did a lot of throwing. We just didn't allow him to practice, and so he's anxious to get going, as you can imagine. We started last Tuesday, so our summer training started. Our kids are going to work, and we got 8 weeks of summer training, and the first 2 weeks are almost done now. So, but Carson's doing great, and he's right on schedule.
Obviously, deservedly so, but he's getting a lot of publicity right now with his talent level and stuff. What do you look at with someone like him? Obviously, he's a team leader, but what does he need to work on going into this season?
I mean, we've talked to all of our seniors and some of our more accomplished players, and we've had a lot of good players here at Nevada. I mean, we've had a lot of offensive players of the year over the years. We got them in our hallway. We have a television that kind of brings up all the great players that have played here. So I mean, it's a great recognition, but he's not that uncommon. We've had great players here before. I think the most important thing is what he does from here on out, and we've talked to all of our players about that. What you've accomplished up to this point is great, but it really is what you accomplish from this point forward. And we've got a lot of very good players on this team, but we've got a long year ahead of us, and we got a long summer ahead of us, and so there's a lot of work to be done. So, we had a great meeting today. It was the first time I've really had a chance to talk to the team since I've been back, and we just kind of put it all on the table. And we got a lot of work to do. We're going to be accountable for that work. We're gonna push each other on a weekly basis, and people that are getting the job done are going to get recognized, and people that aren't getting the job done are going to be recognized. So that's just kind of where we are, week 2 of the summer. And if you want to have a good team, you got to have a great summer. So that's what we're working on.
What exactly defines a great summer though for you? I mean, it's off season. You're not seeing it on the field, or is it checking the metrics in the weight room? What playbooks? What is it?
College football is year-round preparation. People ask, what are you doing in the off season? There's no off season. Our season starts in earnest the first week in August. We have official practices, but for 8 weeks this summer, we have very specific things that we need to get accomplished. I mean, we're working in the weight room. Our running is way different than it is in the springtime. It's very intense. It's more game-oriented, more speed oriented than in the springtime. And then, we have football to do too. Our kids are throwing and catching on their own. They're getting ready to play for the fall. And that's a really important piece for us. I mean, we throw the football, so that's something that we got to practice. It just doesn't happen by magic. And then they come in on their own and they study football, and that's important. And so there's a lot of facets to it. There's a lot of details that need to happen for them to have a great year. And I think we have a really mature group of guys that really understand the investment and what it takes to be good. And we've been working really hard to teach this leadership group that. And so I'm excited because we have older players, guys like Romeo and Carson and Sam Hammond and Lawson Hall. Those kids have all been in big games. They played in big games, and they've worked awfully hard to have an opportunity to be good. So we're fortunate to have that kind of leadership, and we're really excited to see how this group can develop.
COVID restrictions loosening up a bit. How does that affect you guys? It's got to be like a whole new world again.
It's good. We're still not there yet. We have, we're still not quite out of the woods, but it's so much better. It's so much different than it has been. And we've got most of our staff and many of our players have been vaccinated. We still have some guys that need to go, but it's just, nobody wants to go through another year like we had to last year. And just puts so much pressure on everybody, and stretches your staff and your training staff and and assistant coaches and players and families. It's just was just a lot of extra work put on everybody, and we handled it better than most. But at the same time, we really we're not anxious to do it again, and so. But we're really looking forward to the fall. Really looking forward to having fans here in Mackey. Really looking forward to our players' families having a chance to see them play, and so. It's been a whole season without the families and friends being there, and I think our kids really miss that.
And my last question is, they're talking 12-team playoff now. That gets potentially a group of 5, at least one slotted spot. Your thoughts on that?
You know, we have very high goals. We have since we've been here, and you know, the big thing that we want to do is that we want Nevada to compete for championships on a yearly basis, and you know, when you have the right group of players, you can have a great season. But you know, that's something that we're constantly working to do, and so we have high goals. I mean, we talk all the time about, you know, beating Power 5 teams, beating multiple Power 5 teams, being ranked, winning our conference, hosting our championship game here in Mackey, playing on New Year's Day. I mean, those are all things we talk about, and I'm not shy to talk about them. But it's also it's a lot of work. A lot of things got to go your way. You got to stay healthy, and most of all, you got to have the right mindset and put the work in. So we got a long ways to go. You know, I jumped on the guys pretty good today, and you know, they need to understand that things don't happen. This is not Bewitched. You know, you guys probably don't remember that show, but you know, we don't wrinkle our nose or sprinkle dust on our guys and win. It's a lot of work that goes into it. So we're going about that.
Okay, Coach. I don't mean to be the Debbie Downer question.
Yeah.
I just have to ask, what do you say to the Wolfpack fans who, with the recent news of Isaac Jernigan that happened this morning and recent arrests, how do you keep those guys in mind?
You know, I had a chance to talk to Isaac this morning after I found out about him being arrested last night, and after my conversation with him, I dismissed him from the team. So he's no longer a part of our football team, and we'll just let the rest of the process take its course.
What is your message to the team when they see their fellow teammates act like that?
Oh, I don't know if I want to comment on all that. I mean, we spend constant hours mentoring and prefacing our players of what they can and cannot do. Our players know exactly what they can and cannot do, and so you know, it's always disappointing when somebody falls short. We're all human. You know, I go to church on Sundays, and you know, we all fall short, and it's not any of us to judge. I'm not in a position to do that, but you know, we're in charge of our team. Our kids know exactly what's expected of them, and so you know, that's my response to Isaac's situation.
I'll switch it to a positive note. You talked about the speed and what you guys are focusing that right now. How far have you seen the speed come on this team since you've been here?
Wow, we constantly work on that. Jordan Simmons, you know, we were at Oklahoma, and it was our goal to be the fastest team in America, and so at that we've carried that same thought process coming here. We work on speed constantly. We work on speed every day. Every time we walk into the weight room, we try to get faster, and we got a lot of fast players, and we want to continue to build that speed in our program. So Jordan's done a great job. It's a big part of our summer emphasis. You know, in the spring we work more conditioning and getting big. In the summer we really work game speed, and because we're getting closer to playing, so that's a big emphasis. Our kids are sore and tired from working on their speed, and but we're getting better every day, and you know, we're getting closer and closer to peaking for the season.
Derek Carr is coming to the governor's dinner. Did you have a hand in that, working with the
No, I'm
Raiders?
excited. You know, I have a history with the Raiders, and I'm really proud of that. You know, know a lot of people in their organization. I did not have a hand in that, but I'm excited that Derek's gonna be speaking, and Al Davis had a huge influence on me, and I'm really proud of my Raider years and my association with the Raiders.
My last question for you, Sam Hammond today earned COSITA Academic All-District Honors. What can you say about him?
Just so proud of Sam. Sam works so hard, and you talk about a player that has been made. I mean, he's taken the principles from the program. He's worked awfully hard. He's built himself up, and just really proud of Sam. And to have him back another year is just it's like Christmas having Sam back, and done a great job as a captain last year. I would be really surprised if his teammates don't vote him captain again this year.